frowned upon in the eyes of God. The truth is, if God created them that way, why are they so hated upon?
Who told you that God created them that way?
There's a lot of scientific evidence that proves that a lot of people that are born and aren't gay, it's nature versus nurture, meaning at a very young age you're already attracted to the same sex.
Let me ask you a question. How do you explain that millions of people were married and have children and live with many women in their life, and then one day they decide to be gays? How do you
They
explain
don't
that?
decide, they were forced into it, and before that, they wanted to be with the same.
So
That's how it's explained, meaning they didn't want to have that lifestyle. They were forced into it, or they didn't know any better.
okay, so let me explain to you. It's a little bit long and complicated and sensitive topic. I spoke about it many, many times. My lectures are full of explanations about it. But briefly, I will tell you that there are two kinds. There are people who become like that in their lifetime, meaning they were normal and straight, and they go through massive brainwash and watch dirty things, and nothing excites them anymore, and they want to move to the next level. And then, by the way, they can also move to have relationship with animals. It's also very common.
Very true.
Okay.
But it works both ways.
Right. That's one kind of people, that they always look for new excitement, even though it's a horrible crime against God and His book. They don't care. They just want to do whatever makes them some kind of excitement and pleasure. Then you have those kids that from a very young age, they're very feminine. You can see right away that he behaves like a girl. He plays with a girl.
Right.
These people are the same like the first kind. The only difference is that they became gay in their past life. I'll explain. We don't come here only one time. We are reincarnated. That means we are now, let's say a person here now is 50 years old. And he married and have children and had many girlfriends in the past. And now he got bored from women. He wants to go also to try something more exciting according to all the brainwash he hears everywhere. And he decided to have a boyfriend now. What are you? I'm bisexual. And then he left completely with the women, and he lives with a man, I don't know, 20 years, and he died. Now he comes to his trial. If Hashem decides to send him to hell for all his crimes, he will decide how many years he's going to be in hell, and that's it. If he decides to give him another chance to come back to life, he takes his soul and sends the soul back in a new baby. He decides where he's going to be born, to what parents, what school he's going to go to. Hashem designed his new life. Now, whatever he already kept in his past life, when it comes to the religion, he has no more desire to violate, because he passed that test. For instance, if he was a very generous man, he was giving a lot of charity, helps the poor, helps the synagogue, even though he became gay, but he was still very generous. One has nothing to do with the other. Or maybe he was a very nice person. He never hurt anyone, he had manners. You know, he had a lot of positive things about him, this gay guy. Maybe he was even Shomer Shabbat. There are some modern Orthodox people that they live with another man and they're not embarrassed about it. They come to shul, they keep Shabbat, they walk. So there are things like this. So let's say Hashem analyzes his life and you see that 90% of the things he did okay. He put tefillin, he davened, he kept charity, he ate kosher. He did a lot of good things. He cannot avoid what he did good. But he did one very, very big sin, which is homosexuality. It's death penalty and a cut for the soul. It's no joke. The Torah says it's abomination. So now Hashem wants to give him another chance, because after all he did a lot of good things. He doesn't want to send him to hell for 500-600 years, or who knows what. So he sends him back to the world in reincarnation. Now, when he is born, he borns exactly with the same weaknesses that he died with. If he was a liar in the time of his death, he's born a liar. From age 2, he's already lying all day to his parents, stealing candies. Where were you? It wasn't me. His brother is not like that. He never lies. He always, you know. If he died angry, he's born angry. He goes with his mother to the supermarket, he screams, he grabs things, he throws things. The other kid is not like that. If he died stingy, he's born stingy. You take one pretzel from the bag, he will cry for 3 hours. If he died gay, he's born gay. Attraction to the same sex. Why? Because that's how he chose to be. That's why all gays have that penalty, even those who are born like that. And God is more honest than me and you, and is more merciful than me and you, and wants more good for us than what we want for ourselves. That's a guarantee. It's a promise in the Torah. That when He punishes us, He suffers more than us. When we suffer. בכל צרתם לא צר. Right? Like a father that punishes his kid, suffer more than the kid when the kid cries. But it's needed. Okay, so the idea is that if God did not differentiate between those who were born like this, with this attraction, or those who chose later on to be like that, both of them has the same punishment and the same status in the Torah. He is wicked with abomination, and he deserves that penalty, and he deserves cut for the soul, and he also. What does it teach us? That both of them are equally criminal. Why? One chose 20 years ago to be like that, and one chose 80 years ago to be like that in his past life, but it's a continuation of the same soul. Just the box was changed. He had white hair, and now he has black skin. Or he was blonde, and now he has black hair. But it doesn't matter. He was born in America, and now he was born in France. But it's the same soul, in a different body, to different environment, different parents, but he continued from where he left. I give you an example. One woman, every time she's in Brazil, every time a plane passes by her, airplane, she gets so nervous, she jumps under the table and she begins to scream words in Italian. Nobody understands. What is this? Some kind of a syndrome. Try to talk to her, she doesn't know. I don't know. Why are you so afraid of airplanes? He decided to hypnotize her. It's called regression. They're going to take her back in time. So let's say she was 30, I don't know exactly how. She was a young woman, in her 20s maybe. They do regression. Let's go to 1980. She was supposed to be 5 years old. So she talks like a little girl. Let's go to 1970. That's before she was born. No answer. Her soul was not in the body. Let's go to 1950. 1940. And all of a sudden, she speaks in Italian now. She's a Brazilian woman. You do regression. You take her back 67 years in time. Now she speaks a different language, Italian. She now does not know Italian. When you bring her back to conscious and show her the video, she will be shocked that she speaks now fluent Italian and she doesn't understand almost anything she says. So what's going on? You now discover who she was in her past life. She lived in Italy. She was an Italian woman. Why every time she hears an airplane, she go under the table and go like this? And scream in Italian, because she died from a bombing of a Nazi airplane. In a war, a plane came and threw a bomb on her place, but before, every time a plane came, it was a bomb falling nearby. And she screamed in Italian and went under the table hoping she's not going to die. That created a trauma in her spirit, in her nefesh. This trauma remains for good. It has to be cured. Now she's born as a new baby. Every time the airplane passed by, in her subconscious, remember everything is recorded from all past life, everything. Immediately the brain sends the body into a trauma mode, emergency mode. What do? You run to hide, you run to shelter. It's unbelievable how the mind of a person works. That's why sometimes you have all kinds of serial killer and pedophiles from a very young age. They behave very strange. They do a lot of different things. The answer is all from past life behaving. So that's why they are not innocent. They are all guilty. Obviously their guilt is carried from past life. But now their test is not to act on their desires. So one person told me, okay, so what do you expect? A person that's not attracted to women, is a gay, he's going to live 80 years without any intimacy. So what do you expect? Is it normal? The answer, yes. And how is it normal? I tell you how. When you have a Bachur Yeshiva, religious from birth, he's now 15 years old and he begins to have attraction to women. right? He's a normal person. He's religious, he's learning in yeshiva. Here and there he walks in the street, he sees pretty girls, and he's thinking, wow, in a few years I'll be married, I'll be able to have my own wife. Now he's 20, and he's still not married. And he's not allowed to have girlfriends. He's not allowed to waste seed, he's not allowed to make scenes, he's not allowed to go to other women, he's not allowed. Now he's 25. He's already 10 years suffering with no intimacy, but he's not allowed to act on his desire. Now he's 35. 25 years he has this desire every day. And the Torah says still not allowed. That means if the Torah does not allow it, that means he can do it. And now he's 45. 35 years of desire to women, and not once he was able to be with a woman, because it's not allowed. Not his wife. Never got married. So how does the Torah demand from a person to be 35 years in such a world with no relationship and not to commit sins? The answer, if the Torah says that that's the rule, that means it's possible. Nobody denies that it's very difficult. Obviously, it's very difficult. However, the Torah knows that we are not angels. So when a person finally breaks, and he broke the law, the Torah gave him an option to fix it by repenting. If he regrets it, and he's ashamed, and he prays to Hashem, and asks Him for forgiveness for committing a sin yesterday, or whatever the case was, it's like a new start. So in the end of the life, there is not one person that can come and say, I never committed any sin, Hashem, you know it. It's not going to happen. The Torah says, Sheva ipol tzadik vekam, even the most righteous person still commits some sins. But the question is, how does he behave after those sins? Does he care? Does he regret? Is he ashamed? Is he trying not to do it again? Is he upset about what he did? Or business as usual, it was fun, I wait for the next time? That's the difference between righteous and wicked. Righteous make a sin, it burns his heart. Why are you so upset for 2 days, Moshe? It doesn't matter. He eats his heart. How could I have done such thing to Hashem? That's what Yosef said to Eshet Potiphar. More than I'm worried about your husband, you trying to go with me and to commit a sin, more than I'm worried about your husband, I'm worried about Hashem. How can I do it to Hashem before everything else? So you see that there are some people with difficult tests in life, of course. Even someone who's very attracted to steal, and he has to live a whole life without stealing. That's also very difficult. People that cannot be loyal. Imagine living 8 years with every hour you have a new test. Being loyal or not. Being honest or deceive. Lie or say the truth. Clear the mind or continue to think about negative things. There's a lot of tests. Life is not a picnic.
I have a question, Rabbi.